Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. The name is Lehlonolo Sidiane, the name you never knew, but now you need to know because I am coming for it all. Guys, today, NDT, I am super excited about what I'm introducing to my channel, about what are the vibes, what is going on, right? So, in today's video, I can't say by the title because the title is going to be a bit vague, it's going to be a bit vague. So, I can't wait to introduce this part of my channel, as it is something I've always wanted to do, to use this platform for such purposes. This is one of the main reasons why I started this channel, So today I'll be doing two things. I will be introducing this new segment, this new vibe, this new, and then I will be speaking on a matter that has turned the world upside down, that has shook us as South Africa, that has shook the world in general, because it's quite scary, So I will be talking on those two things, and I'm very excited. Okay, without any further ado, let's get into. I went on my Instagram and I asked people, what do you guys think the tea or coffee ZA means? And I got very close answers, like answers that were very close to what is actually going on here, So let me tell you guys what the tea or coffee ZA is, right? So if you know me, right, like personally, you know that I am an aspiring politician. I want to be in politics when I grow up, or just in the near future. I do want to make a change, and I know that sounds very like,
oh, like, dude, everyone says that,
but it is really something that I want to do. It's always been my passion. I've always had a knack for politics. Even when I was young, I think my dad called me Madam Speaker because I used to speak out a lot. And woman, no, and like, why is President Zuma doing this at a very young age, right? Hey, Mara, I never looked at politics. I was always looking at other things, wanting to be a doctor, wanting to be a nurse, wanting this, wanting that. Never looked at politics, not once. But obviously, I have found myself and rediscovered myself. So cool. What the tea or coffee ZA is basically a channel where I will speak about things that are happening in the world. Kind of like a talk room, a talk show, whatever you want to call it, right? Where every Friday I will talk about events that have happened over the past week. So from Monday, on Friday, I will talk about events that have happened from Monday to Thursday in the world, like all around the world. And obviously, I will put in my 2 cents of what I feel about it, about the whole thing that's going on, whatever topic it is. I will speak on it, and I will also have here and there like guests that will speak out, and maybe we'll just focus on one topic. And yeah, because sometimes you think you know stuff but you don't. So the reason why I want to have guests is because I also want to be educated. I don't want to just talk Kili one the whole time and people are like, wow, so that is what it's going to be. I'm calling it the tea or coffee because, like, here's the background story. At school we had this teacher who, in our history lessons, every single Friday we would take 30 minutes of the lesson, like 30-20 minutes, and just speak about what was going on in the world that week. And while we were speaking on it, we would have tea or coffee and biscuits. And I feel like that's where the name came from, because it's just interesting. I just decided that I want to come with this new idea, this new concept. And also, I will always have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee with me, and I will tell you guys which tea it is, how it tastes. I'm not a coffee master, so I can't be like, the beans are ground. Also tell you guys how I prepared it, just to kind of review what coffee I'm having, what kind of tea I'm having that morning. So today I have rooibos, it's tea, and yeah, that's what I will be doing every Friday. And I'm super excited because it's something I've always wanted to do. And if you know me, you know how excited I was for this. So yeah, so every Friday, click your notification bells on, because every Friday we are going to go through the world as a whole and the news of the world. I will also try and take my news from reliable sources, because I don't want to spread fake news, because fake news creates panic, right? So I can I could say behind the Instagram, you know, stuff on social media. I want to actually look at the news and see what's actually going on in the world. Obviously, I will reference things from social media, like, okay, in relation to this topic, a tweet came up, that. But I won't take my news entirely from social media. So, let's get into the second part of the video. As you guys know, like, a lot of things have happened over the past 3-4 days where the world has turned into absolute chaos, like turmoil. And just because it's not happening here at home, it is still chaos, because and we see a lot of things going on at once, right? I will mainly speak out on the Black Lives Matter movement, and I obviously have my 2 cents to throw in. And also at the end of the video, I'll put in a clip that I compiled about this whole, movement. So firstly, this Black Lives Matter thing, we see it over the years, dude. Like, before we were even born, America, even our own home ground, like Momo, South Africa, we see police brutality at its wildest. We see it with apartheid, we saw it with America, and the riots, obviously the 97 LA riots, I think. Yeah, where we see it's bad. And we also see, remember that TV series When They See Us, on Netflix, where we see the Central Park 5, these 5 boys who are wrongfully accused of rape, and then they serve time for something that they didn't do. We see police brutality every time. We see we don't Collins Koza and George Floyd, right? It's always been something that's been big, and it's a problem. It's an issue that the same people that stand, kopele and swear and put an oath to protect and serve their country are the same people that damage it and kill people, and and I also want to speak out on this whole all lives matter. If all lives mattered, why is it that black people are so angry? I mean, if all lives matter, we wouldn't be so angry, because all lives matter, right? So why are we mad? Why are we rioting? Why are we looting? Why are we striking? Why are we wilding on social media? Why? Common sense, as if it doesn't make sense what we're doing, because all lives matter, right? I want you guys to ignore out, block out, sorry, the noise in the back, I'm sorry. And so now my question is that if all lives matter, like, why is it that we're so mad, and why are people fighting so hard to be oppressed? You think that black people like it? You think that it's nice to get gunned down in the street? You think that it's nice to get gunned down in the safety of your own home? Do you think that we enjoy posting on social media Black Lives Matter? Because why do we even have to tell people that our lives matter? Why is it that we have to explain why our lives matter? Why are people fighting so hard to be oppressed and fighting so hard to be like, oh no, but like, black people aren't the only people that go through this? Did we say we are? Did we say we want to be the only people that did we say we want anyone to go through what black people are currently going through? Why is it that we're fighting so hard to say the N-word? People fight to say the N-word, and I won't lie. People fight to say the N-word, and people fight and say, no, but like,
I'm half this, half that. I can also say it.
but when it's time to actually fight for that word, not fight for the word, but to fight for the people, to fight for the culture, the black culture, because a lot of people, your faves, your celebrities, they drip out in black culture. They embody black culture. They do this, they do that. And not once do we complain. Obviously, we complain about cultural appropriation, but our cries are not heard. And you guys fight so hard. You fight and you fight and you fight. But when it's time to actually fight and actually be like, okay, I'm taking a stand for the black people because they matter. They are people too. They are humans. It's crickets. Hotodzi. It's silent. And I want to say, for those who haven't spoke out about this whole issue, your silence is very loud. It's extremely loud because, and you know, there's always people, wait, before I get to that, hold that thought. There's always people that are going to be like, oh no, but I'm not speaking about it because like I'm not a politics person. You can't not speak out on things like this, and you can't say I'm not a politics person because our world dynamics revolve around politics. Every single thing in this world is politics. You have to have an opinion on something, and I don't care who says what, but everyone has an opinion on something. Moto odulang as an opinion, whether it's good or bad. And if it is a bad opinion, then you are part of the problem. Also, if you're quiet or you're like, I'm not taking sides, people that are neutral have taken the side of the oppressor, and I don't care who says what. You have taken the wrong side if you feel that
I'm not choosing sides because I don't think anyone is wrong or right.
Listen, you can't be neutral in issues like this. I will tell you now, it's impossible. You're either on the good side or the bad side. And I'm not going to differentiate which side is which because I don't want to have people coming for me in my comments, right? But I went on Twitter obviously over this past 3-4 days, and I keep on seeing videos, very triggering videos of peaceful protesting gone wrong. And there's this one video, I don't know if I'm allowed to put it out, but if I can then I will, where I think it's a 35-year-old, a 41-year-old and a 16-year-old, where they're basically fighting for their rights. Black Lives Matter. And it actually baffles me how 3 generations later, we are still going through the same issue. The same issue that skin color, it's the color of our skin that is seen and deemed as so dangerous that we don't deserve to live another day, you know. That is the biggest issue for me. The biggest issue is also people that are not speaking, people that are not saying anything, people that are not using their voices. There's this one hand, every day she's tweeting, she's on the socials about sex and her lust for this one gent and what. But when they asked her how, and then Black Lives Matter, now all of a sudden she's Christian. Now all of a sudden she's not an angry woman. Now all of a sudden she's gonna do the godly thing to do and not speak on it. And now I'm baffled because you speak about all these wrong things. You speak about sex, you speak about this, you speak about that. Okay, I'm not saying sex is the wrong thing, sorry. You speak about lust, you speak about this, you speak about that. But Black Lives Matter is where you draw the line and say, I'm a Christian. Where? I'm Christian and I've voiced out my opinion so many times about this because we are all God's people, and I don't think God wants to see us hate or fight each other, right? So, highly handle, which side are you taking? Which God are you speaking about? Because the God I know would be extremely upset to see what is going on in today's world in terms of police brutality and Black Lives Matter. Now, I'm upset. I don't know if you guys can see by the way I'm speaking about this, but I'm upset. I'm upset because how come how has it come to this? How is it that people can discredit Black lives so much? How is it that we're treated really porfolo when we are human? And this tweet says, you know, people, they're lucky, the system is lucky that Black people don't want revenge. We want equality, and that is what we're fighting for. People think that reverse racism exists. In which world does reverse racism exist? In which world? And Kopaling Kalu saying, what is reverse racism? Because I'd also want to know. I want to be educated because I feel as if reverse racism doesn't exist. The system doesn't allow for reverse racism to exist. It doesn't allow. How are people that are so disadvantaged and people that are so unfavored by the system, how can they implement reverse racism? Please explain in the comments. Buang. Communicate. Can we please communicate? Because I feel as if this is something that I don't understand, you know? And while it's a really state, I'm speaking on the Black Lives Matter movement, let's come back home. Let's come back home to the Collins Koza issue, where he was killed by the SANDF, right? No, man. It's not right at all. It's really not okay. That despite what's going on in America, that the same issues are going on here at home. Like, how are people that were deployed to come out in the streets and protect us from a virus, right? Because that's why they were deployed, to protect us from a virus. How is it that now we're not fighting against the virus but against each other? Why? Why? I genuinely want to ask myself, why do you think that you can take away a life that you didn't create? How do you think that's okay? How do you sleep at night? I would like to know. Like, there's so many things going on around the world, and in every single scenario we are reminded that Black people are not favored in this world. We are not favored because in each and every single place in this world there will be a Black person who comes out of, like, with a story or how they've been treated because of the color of their skin. We see how we are treated. We see the racism in schools hidden behind the code of conduct. We hear the comments that say, don't speak your home language at school. This is not the township. We hear it. We hear it. And over the years now, when, like, my old school, they used to say stuff like that. And I never thought of it as an insult. Like, I always thought, okay, maybe they just don't want us to speak our own languages because English, you know, it's an English speaking school, so we should speak English. And now I think of it and I'm like, no, man. It's not right. It's not right at all. How we told that we must tie our afros so we can look pretty. We don't process these things. You think we just agree and we're dumb and we don't actually notice what this is not proper. Like, it's not okay. And the fact that we're fighting an entire virus, and we also need to fight people that are killing our people for the color of the skin. Why are we not all together? Why are we not equal? Why are we not living in harmony? Because I mean, that is all we're fighting for. That is literally what we're fighting for. We're not fighting for apartheid to come back, reverse apartheid, or we're not fighting for reverse slavery. Why would we want to go 400 years back? Why? You see, I keep on asking myself why, because I also don't have answers, because I'm sure these are things that we have to address. Like, why do we have to tell people not to rape? Why do we have to tell people not to kill? Why do we have to tell people not to be racist? Why? I feel like if you have to be told not to do something like that, it's a reflection on yourself. You need to truly look within yourself and be like, oh, Because I swear, if I had all the answers to the whys that I'm asking, I wouldn't be speaking on this channel, and I wouldn't have the tea or coffee today, sit down, talk. I wouldn't, because then I'd have the answers as to why people are treating black people like this. And this whole All Lives Matter movement, I'm coming back to it. It is discrediting the Black Lives Matter movement, because now it makes it seem as if we are saying only Black Lives Matter. No, please, please, if you want to comment down below someone that has said only Black Lives Matter, I would like to know that person and tell them that they are not speaking sane things. I don't want to swear. What we are trying to say, what we as the Black Lives Matter movement people are trying to say, is that yes, all lives matter, and so do black lives, but why is it that we are treated, Engare, we are not people? Why are we treated less human? Why? And why is it, I will ask this question again, why is it, if all lives matter, why is it that we're so upset? Why is it that you guys are fighting to have a movement? As if having a movement is a trend. As if, wait again, give us aesthetic. When we like speaking out on issues like this, we like actually asking ourselves, am I enough for this world because I'm black? As if we like it's enjoyable. Sing and march the streets. And obviously I'm not talking about here at home, but like in America, do you think they enjoy looting shops? Do you think they enjoy, doing stuff like that? Do you think they enjoy it? Because I don't think they do. I think they're fed up. I think they're tired. I think they're tired of being killed repeatedly with no one to fight for them. And people that are saying George Floyd this, George Floyd that, George Floyd is not the reason for the uprising in America. The multiple deaths by police brutality, by racism, is what is causing the uprising in America. People are fed up, and George was just the tip of the iceberg. He was where people were like, wait again, we are enough. George, what the same way in our country that one incident caused the entire uprising. It wasn't because that one girl was killed and raped. It wasn't because of the one girl. It was because of the multiple times hands came out about rape and they weren't heard. And then that one incident was where South Africa was like, enough. And that is the same case with George Floyd. When George died, it was like, wait, it's enough now. No justice, no peace. And listen, I don't think violence is the answer to anything, but in America, no justice, no peace, because they have waged a war. These police have waged a war. They go around killing people and expect people to not react. And do you guys want people to just sit back and be like, oh, okay, another statistic, another black man has been murdered, a black woman has been murdered, and it must just go on and go on and go on. And when people finally find the voice, and when people finally speak out, then now it's, oh, violence. Where was this energy when people were getting killed? Where was this violence energy? Nelekai. When people got killed for putting their hands on the dashboard and asking to take out a license. Now all of a sudden, Hansi license is reaching for a gun. Hey, you guys are not smart. Police, you're not smart. We're not dumb either.